Moving on to other conflict, Ukraine capital Kyiv has come under drone attack as a three-day truce with Russia expires. Well, Ukrainian authorities have alerted residents to rush to safe spaces as sirens blare in the capital. And this comes after Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky accused Russia of not wanting to end the war as Moscow continues its offensive along the front lines despite a three-day truce agreed between the two sides. In a video address, Zelensky said that Kyiv is preparing for more attacks as Moscow continues its combat actions during the truce.
Today, there was no silence on the front line. Combat actions have continued. We have documented all of this. We also see that Russia has no intention of ending this war, and we are, unfortunately, preparing for new attacks. But peace must come. That is exactly what we are working for. The defense of Ukraine, Ukraine's independence, and the safety of our people. These are the most important things.
Now, Zelensky also said his top negotiator, Rustem Umerov, had reported to him on recent political and technological meetings in the U.S., but Washington appears more occupied with the war in West Asia, even as it remains engaged in a diplomatic push to end the Ukraine war.
Today, Rustem Umerov, Secretary of the National Security and Defense Council, reported on the results of the meeting in the U.S. There were meetings at the political and technological levels with American companies. America remains in the diplomatic process. It is clear that the war in Iran is currently attracting the most attention from America and the U.S. president. But there is a priority and support there from the American people to end this war in Europe as well.
Now, earlier in the day, Zelensky met German Defense Minister Boris Pistorius in Kyiv. After their talks, the Ukrainian president praised Germany's continued support for its air defense and said that the two countries were working on further joint weapons production possibilities. Negotiations on the Russia-Ukraine war have so far led to nowhere, and further, the Iran conflict has put Ukraine war on the back burner for the Trump administration. However, Trump's three-day ceasefire announcement has raised some hope that U.S.-led talks to end Russia's invasion will be resumed. Now, as the war drags on, there are now indications that Ukraine has the upper hand, with EU foreign policy chief Kaja Kallas saying that the dynamics of the Ukraine war are changing in Kyiv's favor as Russia suffers record casualties and strikes on key oil facilities.
On Ukraine, we had a substantive discussion with Foreign Minister Zabiha. Of course, after the 90 billion loan, Moscow's record battlefield losses, Ukraine deep strikes into Russia, and Moscow's shrinking military parade. These all things show that the dynamics of the war are changing. Ukraine is in much better position than a year ago, but of course there is no time for complacency.